Hello, Apes crew. It's Carol Norvitz, and welcome through your 7th week of the second segment of our class. We're going to jump right in with some housekeeping stuff and then right into the work you're doing this week. So you know the routine. Make sure you're using the weekly learning plan as a resource. We are back together again for a regular synchronous session this Thursday, and office hours, as usual, continue to happen on Tuesday from 8:30 to 10:30 and Wednesday afternoon from 1 to 3. If you need help, if you want to reach out and touch base on anything, don't hesitate to do so. I'd look forward to seeing you during office hours. We will be talking a little bit more about your upcoming College Board exam. We are getting closer and closer to that. It's on the 2-month horizon now. And this week you're going to be starting with Module 8. So let's jump right in. Again, some reminders. I didn't include any this week, but make sure you're using the AP Classroom. If you'd like some additional resources on this particular work that you're working on with water this week, feel free to check out some of the resources that are available to you directly there. As well, we've got our online Apes textbook. Again, I encourage you to use that as an additional resource. It's particularly helpful in that it has some more updated case studies and examples and problems that might be helpful for you to look at in addition to what is shown in the Canvas curriculum. And then, of course, as we know, the College Board exam is coming up. The hard copy date is May 14th, just around the bend, and we'll talk about some of the other options that may be available to you this year as well. So what are you doing this week? Well, you're going to be starting with water. So we're thinking about all of the water on Earth. You're initially going to be thinking about properties of water. So it's going to be a little bit of a review, probably from some of the work that you may have done in a previous earth science class and probably in a chemistry class as well. So you're going to be thinking about the structure of a water molecule and how the properties of oxygen and hydrogen make water a little bit unusual due to its really strongly polar bonds and the fact that it has a dipole and therefore is really good at cohering, sticking to other water molecules, and adhering to other surfaces as well. You're also going to be thinking about where on Earth we find water. Obviously, much of the surface is covered with water. Over 70% of Earth's surface is covered with water, but a huge portion of that, over 97%, is in the sea, is ocean water. So you're going to be thinking about what water is actually available for you to use as an individual. Part of this first portion of the module, you're going to be doing an informal lab in which you collect some data about brushing your teeth with and without the water running while you're doing that, and then doing some extrapolated calculations as to how much water you could save by changing just that one practice. You're going to be applying that knowledge in a quiz where you have to do some calculations as well. So I encourage you to do that informal lab just so you've had the practice before you get to that quiz. In the second portion of what you're going to be doing, you're doing a topic that is near and dear to my heart, an area that I spent a lot of time working on in my earlier career, which is on water quality. So you're going to be learning about the Clean Water Act, which is all about making water swimmable, fishable, and drinkable, as the icon up on the screen shows there. You are going to be doing a virtual water quality lab, pulling from data that's been collected by environmental scientists. This case is going to be from a spring down in Florida. And you're going to be choosing one water quality parameter and analyzing and graphing data over time from this particular stream for that one particular parameter, and then interpreting what that data might mean about the water quality and about the impacts in the surrounding watershed. So make sure you are looking carefully at that. I did include a spreadsheet there where I've pulled a good portion of that data to make it a little easier for you to manage. So I encourage you to use that. And then, of course, you're continuing to work on your collaboration solid waste lab. You should be in week 2 of your data collection, potentially week 3, depending on when you launched yours. Make sure you're continuing to collect that data, that you've got a picture of your setup, and that you're bringing that information with you to our synchronous session. So let's take a look at the weekly learning plan. All right, so here we go. You know the setup. The beginning is just a really quick contextual introduction to what you're doing this week. You'll see the learning objectives over on the right-hand side, on the left-hand side, for what you're focusing on this week, and then your to-do list. So there are essentially 4 jobs that you're doing this week. The first one isn't technically a job, but it's there as a reminder for you. I've linked for us our presentation from last week, so if you want to go back and review that FRQ that we worked on and look at the reviewing guidelines, the scoring criteria from the College Board, you have that available. I also want to remind you that you have access to that additional Apes textbook that brings you to the Falcon book as we were looking at before. And there are 2 chapters in that book that are relevant to the work that we're doing in Module 8 here. One is Chapter 9, which is on water resources. The other is on Chapter 14, which is about aquatic pollution. Just to give you a preview of those, Chapter 9, water resources and water use, looks like this. And Chapter 14, if I navigate down to that for you, is all about aquatic pollution. So you may find again that some of the phrasing, some of the presentation, some of the case studies that are in here provide you with a little bit greater context than what is presented in the Canvas curriculum. So I encourage you to check those out. If you haven't yet set up your account, please make sure you do so. And if you need to access it or need the directions, they're linked right here for you. Again, you're going to be working on water supply and taking a quiz there, and then water quality. You'll notice I've linked here for you that spreadsheet I was referring to. So I went in and did a little work for you to save you some time. And I pulled the data that was available from the year 2000 through the year 2020. So you'll see there's plenty of data there for Crystal Springs, which is the spring that's highlighted in your content there. I've included in here specific conductivity, dissolved oxygen, both in milligrams per liter and saturation, pH, nitrate, and orthophosphate. So you're going to be choosing, again, one of these parameters, and you're going to be constructing a graph to represent the trends over time and then doing some interpretation of that. And then what you'll see below that, so that was job number 2. Job number 3 is to continue to work on your collaborative solid waste lab, making sure you're bringing a picture and the data with you to class on Thursday. And then the 4th job is to attend class. So what is the quick summary here? Quick summary is this. You've got to complete 8.01 and 8.02 this week to stay on pace. Make sure, again, you're doing that informal lab in 8.01 just to do the practice calculations before you take the quiz. For 8.02, again, you're selecting one water quality parameter from the lab. And I would encourage you to use the spreadsheet. It's just easier because there's so much data in that USGS site. It's going to take you some time to decipher it a little bit. So I would recommend using the spreadsheet. Keep collecting your data. Bring with you your picture of your setup and your data. And then I will be available this week. That should say the week of 3/8. And see you on Thursday this week. Have a great start to your week. We'll see you soon. Bye.